Welcome, one and all, to another episode within the Rage Across New York, Living World of Darkness. Lots of different acronyms you're not going to remember, but you know it's a bunch of werewolves. Another message, much as it was previously delivered to a Nin of Hikori, this one with a very, very interesting message saying, "Do you want to color with the?
Do
Do you
you
want to
want to
paint?"
paint with the colors of the wind?
Yep.
And for those who weren't there before the recording, of course, um, Corey failed his curiosity check. He needs to understand what the fuck he's talking about.
Not only did you fail, but you kind of botched.
Silence! Silence! I don't call it a botch. I call it following my totem's ban. It's knowledge. I must uncover it. So, Kotori is going to go to the location that Snow gave him, which is actually, I suppose, outside of Central Park.
Indeed, indeed. It's actually to a construction yard. It's actually a rather old hand construction yard called New Haven Construction Company.
Hmm. Well, then he will arrive in hermit form, obviously, because the other one would be silly. Except if you're a Bornar and you look like a dog.
And
We love you,
upon
Bornars.
boners are awesome. Anyways, and upon actually arrival at the construction yard, you'll notice that there's indeed a gaze. There doesn't seem to be anyone on the premises. Thus as is. There seems to be a one of those heavy pieces of machinery working currently, just not idling, but just sort of sitting there here without anyone operating it. And a bunch of steel beams have been propped up. It seems that this project had just begun construction, and there's a little bit of twinkling lights in the night sky. Hey, the moon's about what's the moon right now? Crescent? Yeah, it's crescent moon. Crescent moon that seems to be calling to Kokori actually, and it seems to be perfectly framed within the actual steel beams.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Where are he's well at that point he's searching for Snow and Alan and looking left
Make,
and right.
make a perception check.
Hmm. Perception alertness. I would guess. What?
Okay. It wasn't actually too hard, but you have to sort of focus your eyes a bit. But you do see what seems to be the shape of a rather interesting looking dog, like on the steel beams, or what a human would call a dog. Because obviously there are no wolves in the city. No, there's no wolves in the city. That's just a crazy dog.
You say there's a door or a
It's a gate, a fenced
okay.
gate.
Okay, then, as you know, he's scrutinizing with his eyes, probably cursing, saying something like, stupid omid eyes, can't see a thing. No, actually, that's the opposite. He sees better. He's supposed to see better in anyway. He starts walking into the direction of the gate where he probably saw Hamid shapes, and he just rears his head inside.
Ooh, coming from the steel beams again.
All right. I'm going to go to my direction.
Okay. You kind of make your way to do. Luckily, there's a little bit of the fence which seems to be cut apart that you can quickly just sort of pull back the two sides and sort of squeeze underneath.
Mm-hmm.
and you're able to make it across the yard. There's some piping that seems to be darted here and there, and eventually you do come to the very vertical steel beams. There seems to be a bit of scaffolding to make a makeshift ladder slash plateau for the workers to work on. And up at the top, there's a smiling face.
And he looks up. What are you doing here? The wormhole has vanished.
It's like, oh, don't worry about him. He'll be back. There he is.
He wants nothing to do with this silliness.
You back? He's probably reconnecting his mic. Anyways, I don't know. I just like listening to the gossip.
I see. Yes, we're still here, but we can't hear you.
That must be in the problem. His audio must be kicking out on him. Still can't hear you.
Yeah.
Your headset might be just, conked. That's the trouble sometimes. Sometimes you get a good connection, sometimes you just get a terrible connection sometimes. Like the wind. See? They're very musical sometimes. Especially next to the pipes.
I see. And we can hear you. Unless you don't speak. In that case, we can't.
Oh, he's back. Yes.
Affirmative.
Affirmative, Snake.
So, where is Alan in all this?
Triton, place me somewhere. You're currently at the heavy machine, the yellow heavy weaver machinery thingy.
So I'm on the caterpillar.
There you go.
Okay. Alan's is currently sitting in the caterpillar, the big yellow construction vehicle.
It's like, Kokori!
Yes.
I did it! We did it! I brought him and we did it!
I see. And he just he sits on the ground and he's looking at both of you, like probably waiting for you to come near him.
It's like, I'm gonna jump.
Do your thing. Don't botch.
Last time I've jumped a few different times, it's been bad. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's enough. I don't die horribly. So from on top, he's sort of meant to sort of just use sort of the gangplanking to just sort of fall, grab, twist, and down. But what happens instead, he just sort of jumps, lands hard on the very next scaffolding, and tries it again, and just sort of onto his back, right in front of you. Ow!
Stay classy.
Alan, for his part, goes ahead and gets out of the big yellow weaver contraption, sort of walks over to Katori, sits down next to him, and the Snow, who is currently on his back.
Well, not that Kotori is going to complain because he's on his back. He's showing his belly and his throat.
There's a reason
So-
why they call me Snow Falls.
I can see that. So, what? Hmm. He's going to turn first to Alan. So, Silvertongue, can you tell me, as you are a Galliard, can you explain to me how you went with this little challenge that I gave to Snow over here?
All right. It was actually after a very, very strange ritual that Snow was performing for the pack, actually, to contact spirits that most other packs do not contact for one reason or another. I'll leave the specifics up to Snow to actually explain. We got a boon from that particular spirit, so that was a good start of the night. But that took about 4 hours of our time. So it was a quite surprise to me, actually, when he went in and said, let's do it now. It was about like 3 to 3:30 at night, way, 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 way late, almost a few hours before Helios itself would come up. But dear young Snow over here, the goddamn Cleith, was just full of energy and vigor. So I went ahead and made some arrangements to go to the Seaside Jam. It's a place where Hamids go to gather, to dance, to drink, and it's a place very much of noise, sound, music, and motion.
So, you chose the hard road and you didn't summon.
Yep.
Alright. Continue.
Very well. We went ahead and entered the establishment. It was deafening and blinding, filled with all amounts of bright colors and flashing lights. It's the first time that dear Lupus, my Lupus brother here, had actually been to one of these places. He was overwhelmed simply for a second before he acclimated himself and went with it, so to say. There he went ahead and encountered several other Hamids, different substances as well. He imbibed a drug, a medicine, that made him very lucid, very, very clear, very, very much open to everything around him. After
Turns to Snow. Did you sense the worm or not on the substance?
On the substance? No. People around the substance? Yes.
And still you decided to take it.
When one is in the geographical location of the Mediterranean boot, one does as they do within the boot of the Mediterranean.
Turns to Alan.
After imbibing that substance, he went ahead and just, as I said, let himself go. Started to dance the dance that was crowding everybody else, until eventually he found himself in front of the mirror in a restroom. And in an attempt to see beyond the gauntlet, went ahead and simply did not stand still. the Cleith, full of energy, decided to take a piece of the mirror with him so that he could see beyond the gauntlet wherever he walked and wherever he was. He took a shard of the mirror after smashing it and proceeded to wander again. He opened up his senses, the very, very sense that lets him detect the worm. And this sense of the worm directed him towards a stairwell, actually. A stairwell that was overcasting the entire scene. He walked up there, never minding anybody around him, just a wolf on the hunt, you could say. And the next few pieces of information come very, very strangely to me. He stopped for a second. I saw him stop, and he had a long conversation with something that was on the other side, in the spiritual world, as he was still standing in the Gaian realms. He reached out to talk to somebody, and something talked back. He had a long conversation until eventually he decided that the conversation was over. It was just a second, just a brief second, that I saw him actually shudder in fear, and then in rage, and then in complete and utter calm. Whatever he was reaching out to was trying to affect him, and it failed to do so. I don't know if Gaia was blessing him, or whether he had his own defenses up for that particular conversation. Afterwards, he went ahead and jumped on a rainbow. He took the situation as it was, said that the conversation had ended, jumped over the railing into the dance party, and disappeared for the rest of the scene.
So, if I get things right from your point of view, you, Alan, which I said could go with Snow, participate but not talk, to learn, you weren't able to learn.
Nothing was explained to me.
I see. He turns to Snow.
That may have been a fault on my part for not being in a proper state to explain.
Then elaborate the rest of the evening of how you saw it through your enlightenment.
Okay. For most of the story Alan told is very spot on. Where we actually the verbs is the inebriation, and something the Homids had created. It was their way of opening their eyes, or maybe closing their mind, or maybe something. I'm not sure. Or they may be onto something, but I'm not sure. Anyways, Hayes, yes, I didn't invite it. Maybe foolishly, maybe wholeheartedly, but indeed, there was swirling circles. There was this dance. It's like all the Homids suddenly lost her man mind and were starting to think with their animal mind for moments, brief moments. But still, it was interesting to behold. And eventually, we did reach the mirror, and I did take it, because I still wanted to sense, to see if Homids could see if people that could actually see into their true through the reflection of Gaia while seeing in Gaia. Yeah, and yes, I did have a proper conversation with it. It was a spirit of loud and noise that I talked to briefly. I don't know whether it was summoned by the Homids or whether it was summoning Homids. It would always ask for more, louder and louder, wilder and wilder. It was like it wanted everyone to go just a little bit berserk? Crazy? Freedom? Break their inhibitions? Wasn't really sure. But it's like Alan said, it would try to incite. At least it saw the rage with it, and us try to incite it, hate it, and it didn't work. I don't know why it didn't work. I don't rage often. Probably that's it. With someone else with more of it inside them, may have hurt more, but that is something I did learn. Its purpose is to break down not the Hobbit mind, but maybe the Hobbit sensibilities, the things that they think of so sacredly as their moral code. Break it down and make them work again. And for them to create a new, better code, maybe? Or worse code. I'm not sure. But yes, I did jump off the railing after that into the rainbow.
Did you ask him questions?
I asked it whether, if the party stopped, whether he would die. He didn't give me a straight answer.
What was his answer?
His answer was, more, party, louder, banger, faster. Wait. Faster, stronger. Faster, stronger, better, longer. I don't think it was actually very instinctively conscious. It was more, I think it was just feasting on the entire situation. Or maybe I'm misrepresenting the facts or misinterpreting it.
Mm-hmm. And that's it.
Yeah. And then I remember a long stretch of time where emotions and feelings were taking over at that point. It was like Kokori. Do you remember
Kokori,
before
not Kokori.
Sorry, Kokori. Before the change, before you woke up to this, remember how that felt?
I don't really want to think about it, actually. But yes, I remember how it felt.
It was like that. It was like I was just going with something. I saw something I wanted. I went after it. I pursued it. And then I tasted it. And it said, I tasted it. I think it was the rainbow, I think. And then for an hour, and then for a stretch of time there, I think the entire day, I don't remember too much.
So,
Actually,
what you're saying?
Actually, I tell a lie. I do remember something. I remember making up in a strange place, strange Hobbit place, and then running away.
So, let me get this straight. You went to a place where Hobbit gathered to dance, to let their wild side appear, and while you were there, rather than focusing on your task, you took a substance that, by your own words, affected your sense, affected your memories in some sort, as you don't seem to remember a lot of what you did after jumping on the rainbow. Then you took a piece of mirror and went around this party, followed by Silvertongue, who wasn't able to gain any knowledge from your conversation with the Bane Spirit. And then, apparently, you gathered some insight on him. I will give you that. However, you didn't try to seek out secrets from him to get you to understand the worm, understand how the worm works. And I'm going to have to ask this question to Alan and to you. Did, while you absorbed this substance, as you were among Homets, among non-Garou, did you make anything that would be considered a veil bridge? Did you make anything that your mind would have been affected by this substance that you wouldn't have done in other circumstances?
I myself, through that night, did not witness any breach by myself or my brother. However, after he jumped on the rainbow, I cannot say for certain, simply because he disappeared from my sight.
Hey, Damon, you want to make a perception empathy check?
Yeah, sure. Dun, 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 dun. You're going to roll manipulation subterfuge, I would guess, against that.
Yeah, this is just a basic. Would
Oh.
you get it?
If it's well, 2 successes.
Okay. There's definitely something about the night, particularly about the rainbow, that he's not telling you about.
So, what's the rainbow?
It's curvy. It's got the right curves.
It's a Hamed girl.
Alan!
What? You went after some tail. We all do it sometimes.
So, tell me more. Because apparently you took a lot of effort to chase the rainbow rather than chasing the Banes. Tell me more.
I don't know. She just was very colorful, and I was kind of. My fur is white. My fur is just white. I have no color. And then you see something so Birds of Paradise-y, and I'm like, I want that, or at least to know what it is.
He he uses his finger on the bridge of his nose and takes a deep breath. What do you think this Bane was?
What's the bane? The bane of the creature? Party. If it's silent, it has no power.
Mm-hmm. What is the source of his power?
Confusion, inebriation, and lots of loud music.
What does he seek?
He seeks the continuation of his existence, and, well, general. He wants I think he wants everyone to party. He wants things to break down little by little.
What is his substance?
So what?
What is his substance? On what does he feed?
The breaking of inhibitions.
You're making this very hard on me. I'm going to have to think if you actually did. You have some ideas. I will give you that. You indeed have some insight. I agree on that statement. However, I am not sure if I can endorse your behavior in this Hamid party. The fact that you absorbed something that you didn't know anything about, that it apparently warped your perception, made you forget things, and that Alan, that I added to your challenge so that he could also witness and understand, apparently has no insight to give me on that spirit. And you went after a female, apparently more preoccupied by her rather than the understanding and the working of this Bane spirit. You asked questions to him, you saw how he acts. You came to your conclusion and decided to chase the rainbow. Is that the correct interpretation of what happened?
Yes.
I see. Then Kotori gets up and scattered the dust on his trousers. I'm going to think about it, and I will give you my answer if I think that you have indeed answered to my challenge or not. Because after what Dragos pulled, I don't want any mistakes to be made. At least you didn't. You didn't went to a typhoon. You didn't went to a typhoon so that you could rake up some Weaver spirit and almost provoke a war. I will give you that. That's a good thing. Yes, Silvertongue, you have something that you wish to say.
Mm-hmm. Do remember, and I know this was not part of the challenge, but that very incident with our Weaver neighbors was actually calmed and quelled by this Cleef's own actions, acting on his own initiative.
Mm-hmm. And I know that. I know that he is capable. My problem is that can he focus on the task that was given to him? If you have a carcass to feed a pack, some of the members will still starve, rather than a whole beast that you killed. Everyone can be fed. Half information might be a first step, but this can also prove not enough and can be dangerous. Half assumption can be dangerous. I didn't ask for you to bring me truth. That is true. I asked for your insight, and you gave me insight. It is more your actions and how you handled things that I question. And also the fact that, well, you seem to have strange priorities, considering that it was a challenge. I will think about it. I will think and judge you fairly on your actions and the fact that indeed you answered some of the questions that I gave you and you have some insight on what that spirit was, how he worked. But I need time to process everything and come to my decision. Also, Silvertongue, we will have to. I think we will have to get someone to, well, keep a close eye on the Brian Cleave for the task that we gave to him and his friend. I fear that he has the right ideas, but I fear that he might. He has a big mouth, way too big. I fear that he might make a mistake and, for example, bring Fomori's heart directly into the sept, which would be the stupidest idea. Unless it's bind, of course. But then they have no feud, and I doubt they have the right of binding. So I don't know who will follow them, but at least we have to make sure that they know how to sense the worm. Because if they attack a Fomori, well, that would be one less Fomori, but I guess that we would have to have someone to clean after them. He seems to be messy. And did you froze or did I froze? No, yeah, he froze with a perfect face, like. Oh my God! You have to keep the picture. That's fantastic.
I see it.
Well, with that image that probably not a lot of people can see right now, but we hope someone kept in store. I guess that Kotori will leave Snow and the worm foe.
You didn't learn? Wait, did you figure out the riddle yet?
Hi, are we back?
Yes, we're back with your fantastic grin.
Yes, Alan finishes his statement by the task given to the three Clayafs. What are the details of?
What?
Okay. Alan is asking Tori what the details of the assignment was to Two Paths, Grins, and Brian.
They need to bring me a heart.
Just that.
Yes, simple as that. Bring me the heart of a bad Hamid. We even give them an easy idea. There is a Black Fury shelter for female Hamids that were mistreated by their mates. And considering that Two Paths tribe of origin are the Black Furies, we guessed that it would make some kind of sense.
Okay.
It's simple as that.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not to give the three Clayafs any prods or point in any one direction, but do they have to kill the Hamid?
It's up to them to decide. This is their assignment. It needs to be the heart of a bad man. I would prefer the heart of a bad man. Someone who actually, well, felt the worm touch on his mind that is not, well, I know that Smiles gave them the assignment, so Smiles was probably extremely vague about what he means by tainted. But if they want to go and make some justice by killing a mate that was that was mean to his female mate, then it's their choice. They have been given the task. What they do with that task is what I understand from what I heard from them is that apparently there will be guardians with them to clean up if things get ugly.
The Glasswalker, Emmett, as well as one of
Mm.
the other Ragabashes are not intervening, standing aside, waiting to jump in should the worst happen, whatever they decide. But again, Katori, I must ask you, do they have to kill the Hamid in order to get the heart?
And then I return to you the question: does a homid without a heart can still live?
No. That's why you go to a place where Hamids have already died.
If it's what they wish to bring back the heart, but they don't think about it,
They don't.
well, maybe they should.
I
It's
will not
their
be telling them.
it's their world. It's their world. This is, and he shows around. This is the Weaver land that we were born into. I don't know about such places. I'm a lupus. They are hobbits. They should know about places like that. We never said that they had to kill them, only to bring a heart of a man or a woman. It doesn't matter. They just need to bring a hobbit heart. I have my preference for ones who are under the worm touch, not for Mori, of course, because since they don't have a feud, that would be problematic for them. But this is also a test, from what I understand. Travis Raya wants to see what they can do, because apparently this Brian Fianna has brought the enmity of quite a lot of people in a few days.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, now that I think about it, Smiles did tell that this was a test from them to show that they were worthy. I will bear no judgment on Two Paths and Grins, as from what I've seen, Two Paths might be get, which he can't help it. But he actually stood his ground trying to defend Cinna against Smiles, which is suicidal, but brave. So I think that he has the best interest of the kinfolk. So I will give him that, and as for Grin, I didn't have the chance to meet him, so I hope that they will quell the mouth of their brother.
I will say this as much about those three. Grins is one of my tribe, so I have an insight to the kind of things that he thinks about. He does not talk much, but he does think. He does take in a lot of information around him. Two Paths is a soldier for Gaia, but I would like to see a lot more wisdom and critical thinking from him. And I would also appreciate it if he was not so quick to reach for glory. During one of the defense of the Sept events in the museum, I was actually on the ground rolling to cover, and while it's greatly admirable that Two Paths ran to assist me, he was going to pull me back into the line of fire, which I did not appreciate. A little bit more awareness on his part will do him a lot good. Ryan possibly has the same issues as Two Paths. he seems very, very sociable. Very, very willing to get everybody to have themselves an enjoyable good time. But right now, we're in a state of war. We need more discernment than we do revelry.
Yes, I would say he have the right mind. However, you don't tell Red Talon that he needs to think more like a Homid. When you know what's good for you, you just don't. They almost went on a challenge in front of Crane Shrine.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Yes, I already had to give Gnosis to Crane Shrine in order for quell the dispute that they had on his ground. But now that Moonface and Seeker of Answers have joined the pack, I think that it will be good for Smiles to have the fact that we will have two Philodoxes, one of the Stargazer and one of your tribe, will help us to focus and help us with our, well, now that Tarkamundi is no longer with us, rage problem. But it is still, I will still recognize that I have other problems.
The spiritual imbalance of the Worm Raiders is starting to balance itself out. With the loss of Takamundi, you have lost a great weight from your own shoulders. But as I understand it, it also brings about a great deal of grief for having to walk away from a brother.
I'm not really sure what to think. I thought that he would understand me as a packmate, but I'm not sure if he ever understood really what it means to be a lupus in a Homid's world. He kept talking about the fact that what he did, he was doing it for the good of the pack. That he even felt that he had the right to dissolve the pack as if the pack was his possession, when we are a family and a group rather than something under the boot of an individual. And even when we tried to tell him that he could still be one of us, but we couldn't recognize him as Alpha. We recognized his position as a warrior, and that we could try to solve our problems together as a family. This is when he said that he would quit, that he would isolate himself to find a solution for his Arano by himself, that he would find a solution for the wrath of Unicorn by himself. I said once.
You notice that Alan has been sitting rather calmly throughout your description of the recent troubles of the Worm Raiders, but when you say that he would walk alone and that he would deal with these issues alone, you notice a stark, almost gas coming from Alan as you've pretty much blown his mind. He's never really considered that, and he thinks that everything that is going on right now is a terrible idea.
I said before, this is something that actually I don't understand, because he never faltered in his worship of Ktina. He upheld the ban of my totem. He did everything good, but when we told him that he was at fault in his in how he dealt in the Abyss. He turned on Smiles, saying that Smiles also didn't turn his back to help me and Xavier, when Smiles, being a Ragabash, is the one who has to find the exit for the pack, and that I was also at fault, and that I couldn't be an alpha because of my spiritual imbalance, and that this quest being mine, I was bearing also the fault, which I am ready to accept. Indeed, it was my quest. But I do not go pointing hands at people to lift my burden. I accept that I make mistake, and that I learn from my mistake to better myself with the help of my pack. And that's pretty much when he said that I couldn't be an alpha because, well, as he said it, one time it is Kotori, and the other time it's Screaming Eagle.
How did that make you feel?
I'm going to make a willpower roll on that one. Deep breathe, but you can see for a small moment that being in Hobbit, he doesn't know how to handle
Hide his
difficult.
tears.
No, not the tears, because he did not fail the willpower roll. That was why I made the willpower roll. But you can see that, yeah, he frowns. He frowns and gets very serious. And yeah, considering he's a lupus, that kind of says something because he looks at you straight in the eye. Betrayal. That would put it mildly.
Very well, Brother Kotori.
I won't do anything to stop him in what he does. He will always be a brother of the Sept. But as the alpha of this pack, I will not accept him back. Not after what he did. Not after the fact that he said that pretty much he didn't need us, that he could deal with everything that he was facing alone for V. And he looks at his hand and says for V, good.
Yeah.
Good.
It's like bunny ears. It's like bunny ears.
For the good of the pack. He can still regain my friendship and consideration, but he will have to take a hard road for that. This is actually why I have to agree with Smiles on that one. This pack will change. There will be no more question about going into the dark to stab the enemy. We will still go in the dark, in the darkest of places, to gather the knowledge that is needed, the wisdom. But we won't follow the same road. And this is also why Moonface is the only one that I will accept. For now, who is not true lupus. Because she earned my respect by talking to me on the same level. And she also gained Smiler's respect, which is something that needs to be noted.
I'm very, very happy to hear glowing reviews from my tribe mates.
she is not responsible for her upbringing. She should be judged just as any other Garu for her actions. And right now, well, let's just say that even if he did kill a lot of spirals, from what I hear, she is more than we need.
As I've also heard this. Katori, you have done me a very, very good service today. I'm very, very happy that the Worm Raiders are starting to rebalance themselves, and I'm very, very happy to hear, as I said, a glowing review of one of my tribe mates. From my understanding, before I came to the Sept, there was a regrettable reputation of the Children of Gaia, and I'm very happy that we're starting to gain a better one.
Then I'm happy that your tribe regain some reputation, even if I don't know the grievance that used to happen for your tribe. And he thinks a little bit. Ah, yes, now I remember. Actually, this is why the Worm Raiders were formed in the kind of form in the first place. Actually, some of the reasons. I guess that now that the past is buried, we will be able to move on.
That's great. We need a strong pack in the Sept. We have strong packs, and the Worm Raiders were a strong pack. Hopefully, it will start to become a strong pack again, and hopefully we can continue the wonderful work that we've been doing here.
At least we will be able to be the voice of the wolf heart in this Sept. This will be...
Go ahead.
I was going to say probably the same thing as you do, that the wolf heart need a voice in this Sept.
The Sept here, the Sept of the Green, is a very, very strange one. It is a place of the Garu Nation, surrounded on all sides by Weaver and worm-tainted influence. Sometimes we forget from where our spiritual lineage comes from. It comes from the wild. It comes from the places that the lupus form comes from. I cannot say that I have all the answers for the lupus born of us and the lupus kin of them. But I'm open to understanding, at least.
Well, even if I think that, well, Smiles will do a good job as Denfather to make them learn the wolf heart, I will still make sure not to cut the grass under his paws. But I will actually make sure that the cubs know a little bit about the wolf heart first, before they encounter Smiles, because Smiles will help them understand, but they will bear the marking. They will bear the marking of the lessons.
I will tell you this much. When the Minute Memore pack came into the Sept, the Din Father and Din Mother position was granted to myself and Night Eyes, with the understanding that the pack would certainly help with the education of the young. So, when Smiles becomes the Din Father, and you have different cubs walking in and out of your den, know that you are his brother, and you can help him with this.
Well, that's what That's what I intend to do. Even if I wouldn't like hobbits going to my den. It's my den. They would try to obviously steal my bacon.
Of course. Out of a bag behind Alan's back, little baggie,
Bacon pancakes.
bacon pancakes. Pancakes with just a little bit of it's bacon with some pancake batter, in them.
What's a pancake?
It's wheat. It's water wheat. It's water wheat. It's baked water wheat. There we go.
Hands it over.
And yeah, he's probably going to. And he kind of looks left and right. I will have to ask Mega to do some of those in exchange for minor rituals. Also, did you give information for Dr. Mega on how to create identity thingies from the hobbits?
Yes. Dr. Mega did come to me asking about the how to create an ID, and I went ahead and told him how to do so. It's simple. Every single Hobbit that lives in the city lives in a residence, and that residence has a bill that comes to it, a piece of paper that tells you how much you have spent on electricity, on water, on warmth and heating, whatever. That's the utility bill.
To the city.
Yep. That utility bill has a name as well as an address on it. These are the two pieces of information that are required to get an identification from the Department of Motor Vehicles building. Basically, you take the bill, the utility bill, you walk over to the building, you stand in line, you go and fill out all the forms they tell you to fill out. You go ahead and submit those forms. You stand in front of a box that has the camera on it, a flashing bulb. The bulb will flash at you. It'll take your appearance, put it onto a little card or a little piece of paper, and they will hand you that piece of paper.
Appearance? Oh, I don't know why,
They
but
will
I can
copy it, not steal it away from you.
Yeah, because I don't know why, but I'm thinking if actually no one took a picture of Kotori like in front of him, he would probably think, "You're stealing my soul." I see. Well,
Alan's gonna go ahead and reach into his pocket, gets his wallet out, shows you his ID.
Strange. You have more facial hair.
I know. Folds up his wallet, puts it back into his back pocket.
And then he turns to Snow. So, what's about this painting?
It's like paint with the colors of the wind. From behind one of the steel beams, he reaches over, pulls out what looks like to be a metal can, pops the top up, points it at one of the steel beams. See?
It's strange. It's like, well, I'm not going to say, I didn't know that they had those. I know that they have colors in boxes that I use for the war paints, but I didn't know that they had those.
Very curious.
spray can. Holds the paint inside the can. Go ahead and press the nozzle down. The paint is spread.
Hmm. I think there's a spirit inside. Hmm. And he kind of goes.
Don't point it at yourself.
He's very slowly pointing it into your direction.
Like,
And he's going. Actually, just for the lols, I'm going to make a roll for craft. And one success, so it's a dex craft. I have three dex, and I have only. Oh yes, I have 1 point in craft already, so that's 5 dice. And 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he's starting to put in natives native symbols on the wall.
see, I told you this was a good idea.
Well, it is a way for him to express himself.
This is interesting. Do you have more colors?
Of course.
It's like, get some greens and oranges in there.
I guess that Kotori will be kind of busy for probably half an hour. Doing like,
What do you think he's trying to do?
He's trying to express himself.
And probably for laughter, I'm going to make another roll. Yeah, that one is not that interesting, but what basically he does it looks kind of the I don't remember the names, the native symbols that cannot only be seen from the sky.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, those. People will know. The Nazca. The Nazca. He's making some things that don't seem to make a lot of sense from up close, but then he starts to. Yep, I like it. So you probably see some birds, some wolf figures, owls, and probably something very weird because you seem to see a kind of wolf shape with electricity coming out of it, like, and under it, he just put silly D, and he put a dot at the end of a D. People can, if one of you have common sense or want to make a intelligence enigma.
No, I think I know what it is.
Yes. And then he looks at you. D is a bad glyph.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, he throw the paint can to Alan and say, "Yes, show what show what the children of Gaia can do with their art of paintings.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Alan, for his part, is going to go ahead and grab all the different colors of the spray cans. Actually, he's going to go ahead and favor the red and the white one, actually. He's going to use Abe's Crass Blessing, because lol.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Alright. Do a, do what and what expression?
Okay. I would have said craft, but yeah, go on. You want to express you want to express yourself.
No, I'll use crafts. Dex and crafts?
Yeah, sure.
Alright. Rolling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Within a relatively short amount of time, Alan has gone ahead and taken his portion of the wall and has actually done a little bit of a memorial. It starts with a rainbow at the base. It's nice and a little bit arcing, and there is a horse figure on it with the horn on top of his head, a unicorn actually. The horn is actually rainbow shaped. The rainbow it's standing on is also pretty much sparkled with the different stars, and the unicorn itself is actually pink and covered in fluffy fur.
Yes, we can truly imagine. So now, what are you going to do, Mr. Snow? Show us what a son of Falcon can do.
I don't think. I'm going to use expression because I don't have crafts.
Yeah, go on. Express yourself.
Okay. What am I going to spell? It's 3 dice. Let's see what happens. Hey! Okay. This is what's going to happen. On his partition part of the wall, he's drawing a few simple things. First, he's taking some of the white, and he's drawing the face of the moon, face of Luna, giving it a vaguely feminine persuasion. And then goes over to the other side and starts using some reds and oranges and starts producing the sun of Helios. It's giving it a more harsher, more masculine tone. On nothing definite, more just like implied, because it didn't really get that many successes. It only got 2. And in between, he actually just puts a paw print.
Alan, for his part, is going to go ahead and take a disposable camera, take a few pictures of the mural, because no way in hell this is going to go ahead and stay up.
Yes, because obviously your piece of art will remain forever. Fluffy, full of rainbow. Yes. And with that, we now know that Children of Gaia is the one who is the artist. Obviously, he's a very sensitive man.
Very sensitive.
And I guess with that, we can call it a scene.
Yeah, this is good. Well, I thank the players for coming out here, but I thank the watchers for watching, and I hope everyone here has a very nice day. Bye.